Hey guys, welcome to HellaFit class number 2. Today we're going to cover a bunch more skills. We're going to do a lot of strength work. I know in the last workout we did a lot of dynamic kinetic movements. Today is going to be about the strength in being able to hold positions. So we're going to start off with a warm-up like we did last time. We're going to start with dynamic range of motion or some dynamic stretching, followed by 3 1-minute arches. So if you guys see back here, I've got my lovely athletes today. I've got John, I've got Blair, Paul, and Anastasia. Cool, guys. We're going to start with dynamic range of motion. Let's start with dynamic chest. Again, we're trying to hug ourselves as much as possible. See if you can get your elbows to touch in the back. Opening up the shoulders, opening up the chest, opening up the upper back. You guys might be feeling the workout in class 1 with all those push-ups. This will help open that stuff up. You can play with different angles too. Are your arms parallel to the ground? Do they drop? Are you more in a Y? Vary it up. Cool, and we'll go with shoulders up and down, keeping the arms locked until the very end. There you go. Keeping and sweeping the arms by your pockets. Coming up, seeing if you can keep your bicep close to your ear, and then pull it back behind your ears as much as possible. Good. And make sure you guys are breathing. How are you guys feeling after class 1?
Good.
Good. Great. A little sore?
My chest was sore.
Chest was sore? Yep. We're gonna get a bunch of that. From all those squats, you might be feeling it here in the quads. You might be feeling the hips a little bit. Maybe some of the glutes, some of the hamstrings. We're gonna see if we can open that up. Keep going. Cool. Boxer shuffle. Let's shake it out again. Just jumping around, getting loose. And breathing. Wow, there you go. Right? Cool. Invisible hula hoop. Get in a shoulder width stance, hands on the hips, making the biggest circle as you can. It's a slow, very, very slow hula hoop. There you go. Keep those legs locked. Really find what corners you're tight in the hips and the glutes and the legs. I'm just trying to open it up nice and gently, but with movement because we're warming up. So maybe a little bit more speed, guys. Go a little faster. Yeah, and slow it up. Switch directions. Keep breathing. Keeping your spine in line, and yes, that includes your head and your ears, so you're not dropping your head. You're not lifting the chin up too much. Pretend like you're wearing a neck brace. Moving around, shaking it out, feeling what's funky. Cool, we're gonna do some good mornings. So, hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, pull the elbows back as much as you can. You're gonna keep your knees soft. You're gonna hinge over in the hip as much as you can until you feel your hamstrings. This is a feeling exercise more than it is a range of motion exercise. I know some of you guys at home might have really flexible hamstrings. I don't want your forehead to touch the ground, right? Number 1, keep your back straight. Number 2, try your best to feel your hamstrings as soon as possible. So for some people, although you're keeping your legs bent, you are trying to actively push your knees back, right? Come back up. Notice the feet stay flat the entire time. I don't want you to wiggle your toes or anything, but I want you to experiment. What happens when you load up your heels? What happens when you load up the ball of your foot? Does it change, right? Also keeping this in mind, is your knee in alignment with the toe the entire time. We don't want knees to cave in because this doesn't look that strong. And we don't want this because that's way too much, right? Right in the middle. Everything is centered. Right, guys?
Absolutely.
Right. Yay. All right. Shake it out one more time. Let's go ahead and start with the kicks that we did last time. So, if you can, balance it out. Start with the right leg. Oscillate it forward and back, and then emphasize the kick forward. There you go. If you need the help of a wall here or a partner, John can put his hand on my shoulder here. We want to make sure it's the inside leg that's moving, right? So if I was a wall, his inside leg is the one that's kicking through, not the outside, right? Looks like ballet, smells like ballet, but it's not ballet. This is HellaFit. Cool. And then let's emphasize the kick backwards as well. Go ahead, John. There you go. Remember, trying to keep the chest up the entire time, not falling forward, not losing your shoulders or losing your posture. Stand up as tall as you can, as proud as you can. Kick back, let the leg bend. Try to hit yourself in the back of the knee. I'll give you $1 if you can do it. $1 and a cookie. But the cookies only come after the workout. Sweet. And let's switch legs, switch sides. Starting off with the kick forward again. There you go. Good posture. The cool thing about these standing kicks as well is that you're building a lot of strength and balance in the standing foot. So you might not see it here, but your foot is working a lot to keep you in balance when you're only supported by one leg. Cool. Making sure you're breathing. When you breathe, breathe at the top of the motion. Nice, Paul. Cool, and then switch it up. Get your kicks backwards. Top of the head. One of the things that might happen as you kick back is that we might get this flare or lower back issue going on if I let my ribs fly forward. If my rib cage falls forward, you're bending too much in the low back, right? So, of course, that's going to lead to low back issues. What we want to see is that you always have at least 20% tension on the entire time, right? So if somebody went up to you, bah! You'd be ready. Cool. And relax. One of the other things that we're going to do today, introduce, is the heel to toe. This looks very, very simple, but it's very important for strength, stability, and therefore health in the ankles, right? So feet are going to be together, toes touching, heels touching. All we're going to do is simply rock back and forth all the way to the balls of the feet, all the way to the heels. Notice what we're not trying to do here is stick the butt back. Blair, can you start moving your hips too? This would be incorrect, right? You're copping out on the stretches by using the body. What we want to do is isolate just this area. So she's going to stay as tall, as upright as possible. It's only moving here at the ankle. Cool. Nice work, guys. And one more box to shuffle. Cool. All right, here we go. On your stomach. Anatomical position looks like this. Right? So this is what you're going to look like on the ground. You're laying on your stomach. Palms are facing down. Hands by your hips. Our goal again is to keep posture the entire time. So when we raise up into our arch, also known in many circles as a Superman, your goal is to not crank your head, right? So 3, 2, 1, up. Superman. What we want to do here is lift the chest and the thighs off the ground, keeping the legs together, the ankles together, the knees together. Raising up with the arms away from the ground, trying to pull the shoulders away from the ground as much as possible. What we get is a nice activation of everything between the shoulder blades as well as the mid-back and obviously the lower back, the glutes, and the hamstrings. Right? Keeping the neck in alignment as well. Breathing, not holding your breath. Good. Pointing your toes backwards, right? We want to be beginner gymnasts, if not more. So we're learning how to keep tension in our bodies by staying tight and solid as one piece so that we only ever have to move one piece and control one piece. 4 seconds. And relax. Nice work, guys. If you need to shake it out here, you can move back into a child's pose if you're into yoga. You can also do this hip shuffle, shaking left and right, rolling left and right. Right? You can do a couple of cat-cow as well, where you're trying to pull your shoulders and your hips away and then push them together as much as possible. Right? Very nice, guys. And you can obviously see the difference in shapes with all these different athletes here today. We're not all built the same. Don't try to match everyone specifically, right? When you're ready, let's get back on your stomachs, hands near your hips. 3, 2, 1, up. Good. This is one of those things as well, guys. I have no idea where your fitness level is at. If you need to scale, scale, right? So if we watch John here, maybe he just keeps his toes barely on the ground. He's trying to lift, but maybe we just focus on just lifting the chest. Alternatively, he could drop his chest. He can just lift his legs, right? Both great modifications. Eventually, we'd move all the way to a full body movement, right? Again, short, shallow breathing. It's very hard to take deep breaths in this position, but you need to move your air. We don't want you to pass out or anything. You'll actually learn a lot more body control and midline control by doing it this way. Nice work, guys. 20 seconds to go. Hold it. Feeling the glutes fire off, feeling the hamstrings fire off, maybe even the calves because you're pointing your toes back and you're actively trying to get the heels to stay together. 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Nice work, guys. Again, shake it out however you need to. You get some hip rocking. You get some child's pose stretching. You can also just lay on your stomach and catch your breath. Whatever you need to do, right? But we want to shake that tension out. You want control of that area again. Cool. You guys ready for your last one? All right, here we go, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and up. Awesome. Cool. Again, modify if you need to. If your body says, hey, you need to take a break, listen to your body. Take a break, catch your breath, but when you're capable again, when you feel like you can do it, then come back up, right? But 1 minute, completely doable. I know you guys can hit this at some point. If you get better, we'll show you in one of the next videos how to make this harder. Good breathing, Paul. I like it. You guys are halfway there. Keep pointing your toes. See if you can reach back even further with your toes. You're extending your body so hard. Reaching with the crown of your skull. Reach forward as much as you can. Lengthen and extend your neck a little bit. Very nice. But we're still breathing, right? Chest and thighs off the deck. Can you lift your thighs off the ground a little higher? Can you lift your chest off the ground a little higher? 3, 2, 1, and relax. Nice work, guys. Cool. Stand up, shake it out, box or shuffle. So today we're going to work on a bunch of strength positional pieces that aren't necessarily dynamic like the squat was or the sit-up or the push-up, but you're going to make a lot of progress doing these too. Cool? So, take my athletes. We're going to go ahead and start in good posture. Your feet are going to be all the way together. All the way together. No air, no space, no light between your feet. Awesome. And we're going to start off with a simple basic hamstring stretch. So they're going to hinge over in the hip as much as they can. You don't have to keep your back straight here, but reach as far forward as possible. If your range of motion isn't quite there, you can keep your legs bent as much as you need to. What I'd like to eventually see is that in some way or form, you could put your full palm on the ground with your legs as straight as possible. This might be as straight as possible, right? That's okay. Ideally, we'd be here though. But if you're not there, we'll work on it, right? Cool. From here, we're going to work on what we call the inchworm. Now, we're going to have to start inching, literally inching your palms forward as much as you can until you end back into a plank where your shoulders are directly over your hands and your body's in a straight line. Good. Very nice. So if you guys remember what we did last time, our goal was to lock out our legs, squeeze the glutes down, pull the rib cage away from the ground, spread the shoulder blades apart, keep the arms locked with the shoulder over the hands. And you guys see that they're back into that position. Now, we're going to simply inch our way back to that stretched position. Why hold the stretch? Because we know people need flexibility. After this, we're going to stand all the way back up. That would be 1 rep. So we're starting in a standing position. We're going to bend over. We're going to crawl out until we hit the plank. Hold that for a moment. Prove your position. Inch all the way back. Stand back up. That's 1 rep. So let's do another rep. Bend over. Inch your way forward. Find that plank. Prove that plank. Arms locked. Shoulder blades apart. Ribs away from the ground. Glutes squeezed down. Legs are locked. Come back. Inch your way back. Nice and easy to that hamstring stretch or your version of the hamstring stretch. Stand up. There's rep number 2. Let's go for one more. Very nice. Good job, guys. Come all the way back when you're ready. Nice. And you're going to kind of move at your own pace here. Hey, you move a little slower than these guys? Awesome. You move a little faster than these guys? Awesome. As long as you know what the standard is. From here, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next exercise, which is called a hip bridge. These guys are going to have a seat in the middle of their mats. And it's going to look like the sit-up position that we did in class 1. So we've got 5 points of contact: head, shoulders, hips, and both feet touching the ground. You can have some width between your feet if you want to. I would prefer, like we've been doing all day today, to keep your feet together. From here, they're simply going to roll their shoulders back as much as they can, getting a good shoulder position, a good shelf, so they can support themselves on the shoulders, not in the head. And then they're simply going to walk their heels back a little bit more so that when they raise their hips, the knee is over the ankle. And go ahead, guys, raise your hips. Very nice. Cool. What we want to see here is that the hip is completely open. We've got that line here. If you can't get all the way up there, go ahead and bend your hips a little bit. We'll have a little bit of an angle. This is not preferred, but this is where you might be. This might be a mobility thing. We're going to take care of that a little bit more today. If you refer back to class 1, we did the Sanchez stretch, which will definitely help with this position. But the goal is to squeeze the butt up as much as possible, open up those hips, right? If you want to take this to the next level, because you set your shoulders back, maybe you can interlace your fingers behind you as much as you can with locked out arms, right? But we still get the hips to be completely open. Everything's flat from the knee all the way to the shoulder, right? The weight's in the feet, maybe towards the heel, if not the middle of the foot, and in the shoulders. The head is touching the ground, but it's not bearing weight. Cool. If you want to make it even harder, what we can do with Paul here is extend his leg. What I'd like to see is that the thighs are in the same line, though. He's not trying to raise his leg too high. Can you go ahead and do that real quick? Want to see that you can be in control, and being in control also means point your toe, right? That's going to get all the calf to fire off as well, right? Notice his hips are level. They didn't drop. They didn't twist. Go ahead and break. Switch sides. And come back down. Go ahead and rest your hips back on the ground. Cool. So that's what we call the hip bridge. Now we're going to do some bridge ups. Bridge ups are simply the action of being in the start position, the sit-up position, and then getting into the into the bridge, right? Up. The hips are completely open, the glutes are squeezed, right? Another important thing, the ribs are down. Blair, can you flare your ribs? We're not trying to stick it up and arch your back too much. We don't want pressure there. We want pressure in the hamstrings, tension in the hamstrings, work in the glutes, not in the low back, right? So make sure you keep those abs tight. And back down, and back up, and back down, and back up, and back down. But every rep, they open up their hips completely. Cool? So go ahead and grab a drink of water because we're going to start the workout. You guys take a break. So guys, we're going to set up a clock for 16 minutes. That's how long your workout's going to be today. We're going to focus between 4 different exercises. 2 are moving exercises, 2 are static exercises. We already covered everything today, right? On your even minute, 0, 2, 4, 6, so on and so forth, we're going to do 5 planks, and on the 5th plank, you're going to hold the plank for the rest of the minute. So if you move really fast, that just means you get more time to hold the plank. If you take a little bit more time, it's all good. We'll get as far as we can in the minute, and then you'll hold the plank as long as you need to for the rest of that minute, and then we're going to switch to bridge ups. We're going to do 10 bridge ups before we hold the bridge the rest of the minute. And we're going to continue alternating back and forth. Cool? So we're going to start. In 10 seconds. Here we go. Again, keep your eyes on John if you need a modification. Starting in 3, 2, 1, 5 inchworms, guys. Make sure you're inching out, inch all the way back in. I know some of you guys at home, I'm not there to watch you, but I want to see some inching and not huge steps. This is how we're going to build some of that arm strength before we complicate things later in the series. Nice. Breathing it out each and every time. 5 reps, and then hold the plank the rest of the time. And as you guys can see here, John's modifying by just starting on his knees, doing the plank on his knees, right? But shoulders are still over the hands. Everything's still in line. Nice work, John. Making sure you're breathing. Hold the position, but not your breath. Nice, Anastasia. 10 seconds. Squeezing the glutes down, locking the legs hard, pushing the shoulder blades apart, keeping the arms locked. 3, 2, and rotate. We're going with 10 bridge ups. So get into that sit-up position, 5 points of contact, roll your shoulder blades back, pick up those hips as high as you can. Think of this almost as a stretch for the hips. The more you can open up, the better. But again, we're not flaring posture or anything like that. Keep those ribs in. One of the things that I like to do is keep my hands on my stomach to make sure that they're on and I'm not losing posture. Nice work, guys. Paul's going to go ahead and try to hold the advanced bridge because we're at the start of the workout. And pick those hips up as high as you can, guys. Nice work. Squeezing the glutes. Pinching the penny. Probably don't need to show you anything. I'm sure you understand. 15 seconds. Are you pinching the penny, John?
I'm pinching it.
All right. 10 seconds. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Rotate back to the inchworms. We're going 5 inchworms. Go, 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 go. Let's see Paul the speed demon move quick. Let's go. All the way there, all the way up, back down. Nice. And breathing it out. Hopefully you got a fun soundtrack at home right now. Or a Spotify or Pandora radio station, playlist, whatever, music video. Maybe you like to work out in silence. Nice. Good, John. Nice, Blair. Strong lines, guys. That's all we're doing. We're seeing position. Why is this important? Well, movement is a transition from position to position. We want to make sure that you guys are solid in a foundation and a base of movement. 3, 2, 1, rotate. Going with 10 bridge ups followed by a bridge. So setting your shoulders. Make sure you guys set your shoulders as soon as you can. Hips up as high as you can. Nice work. For those at home, you might know this exercise. Sometimes there's a Swedish ball or a yoga ball that you can place your feet on top of as well. If you want some stability practice, you could do it with a Bosu ball or even a pillow. If you want to make it spicier, right? Shoulders are locked together. There you go. Feet are together. Paul's pointing his toe as much as he can, locking that leg. Everyone's keeping their abs tight. Everybody's dreaming of all the fun stuff they get to do after today's workout because they're going to feel so strong, so energetic. 5 seconds, guys. Keep it up. And they're breathing. They are definitely breathing. They might not look like it, but they are. Rotate. Going for 5 planks. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 inchworms into a plank. Nice. Good. If you guys want to work on your flexibility, the goal would be to keep the legs locked the entire time you do the inchworm. If not, this is okay too. You can bend your legs to help you get down there. Keep your legs bent on the way back. Bend, to get you back into that starting position. Nice work, guys. Keep it up. Holding the plank the rest of the minute, keeping everything in line, in a line. Nice, Blair. Let's go, John. If you get caught by the minute, that's fine. Maybe you need to scale your number back. Maybe it's not 5 inchworms. Maybe it's 4 or 3 or even 2. That's okay. Rotate. Back to the 10 bridge ups, followed by the bridge. There you go. So I was just talking about scaling down. Alternatively, if you don't find this challenging enough, why not up the number? Why not add more inchworms, hold it into a plank, and then maybe you challenge yourself even more. We'll go through an iteration with Paul here in a second. And alternatively, maybe 10 bridge ups isn't enough. By all means, change that number. Make it crazier. Maybe it's 15. Maybe it's 20. Your glutes would definitely be on fire at that point, right? Holding this bridge up or hip bridge. Hold it as best you can. Feet are together. Pushing the heels or the balls of the feet into your ground. Squeezing the butt up. Keeping the abs tight. Rotating in 3, 2, 1, up. So maybe with Paul, if we want to make it a little more advanced, he's going to inch himself out even further than a plank. There you go. And comes back. But he still maintains a line through his spine. That's most important. So instead of ending with the shoulders directly over the wrists, maybe he pulls so far forward with his hands that his hands go beyond his shoulders. There you go. This would be a very, very fun thing to do too if you had one of those ab wheels at home. Why not turn the inchworm into an ab wheel? Can you do it from your feet? And if you can do it from your feet, can you do this workout using that iteration or modification? Nice work, John. Good, Anastasia. Keeping those hands flat the entire time is very important. Switch. Going to the hip bridge. 10 of them. Here we go. Squeeze the glutes up. Pinch that penny. Keep those abs tight. And breathe. Nice job, Paul. Keep it up. Feet stay flat. Feet are together. Keep it up. Good breathing. I like it. You guys feeling the burn anywhere? Remember, that burn should be happening in the glutes, should be happening in the hamstrings, not in the low back. If you're feeling it in the low back, do an ab check. Are you turned on here when you hold the top of the bridge? Alternatively, you can make this involve your body a little bit more by pressing into the ground with your arms and your hands, like John is doing right here. Nice work, guys. We're almost in that rotation. Here we go. And inchworms. Here we go. You guys are halfway through. 5 inchworms.
You got it, Anastasia?
Thanks, Paul.
Holding that plank as much as you can. Boom. Coming back. Standing all the way up. Bam. Going back again. 5 full reps or whatever reps you need to do. Again, scaling down. Do 4 or 3 or 2. Scaling up, as many as you want. But try to respect the clock here. Get it done within this minute. You guys are more than halfway there. John going for the scaling option. Very nice. Good. But his glutes are still squeezed. Shoulders still over the hands. And he's opting for the full plank for that minute. Anastasia's taking a water break. And I invite you guys to all take water breaks when you need to. Again, we value the movement here, so move as much as you can along with these guys, but if you need to take a break, take a break. Oh, and rotate. A little late on that one. Bridge ups and the hip bridge. Here we go. Just make this more fast and more furious. There you go. Could you guys mix this up if you wanted to and use a leg up during the bridge ups? By all means, yeah, totally. Oh yeah. Some of you guys might feel a little bit stronger too in the middle of the workout, even though you're scaling in the beginning. That's awesome. Keep going for it. Squeeze those glutes up. Nice. Good, 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 good. 3, 2, 1, rotate. Back to the inchworm. Getting those hands strong, getting those wrists a little bit more open. Bear that weight. It's one of these things. A lot of you guys might, work at the desk doing this all day. How many hours? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14? This is killing you, right? What we want to do is make sure that we know how to bear weight in the hands, make sure we're using the wrist, the forearm, the elbow structure, as well as the shoulder. The plank, the inchworm, great for making sure that blood, muscle, all that stuff continues to circulate through. Nice work, guys. We value movement, so move. Continue moving. 10 seconds. Keep breathing. Stay tight, arms locked, glutes squeezed. 3, 2, 1, rotate. Paul, let's try that leg out during your bridge ups. Maybe 5 and 5, yep, here we go. There you go. If you guys notice, the legs stay in line with each other. He's not lifting one leg higher than the other. After your 5, switch it up. Nice, Blair. And they're breathing. You have to breathe. Nice work, John. Keep it up, guys. And hold that bridge at the end. Oh, John. Pick up those hips, guys. Let's go, Paul. Even higher, even higher. Let's go, ladies. Good, Anastasia. Very nice, Blair. Good work. 15 seconds, y'all. Hold it. Switch it out if you're holding one leg. Or don't. That's up to you. Maybe you want to work on your weak side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Back into your inchworms and the planks. Everyone's favorite part. We all love planks here, right? You're going to learn to love them too. I lied. Maybe you won't. But we sure love them, or we pretend to. Nice work, Paul. Look at that. 30 seconds. We're going for 5 inchworms and hold the plank for the remainder of the minute. Nice. You guys want to make this spicier? Paul, lift up one leg. Maybe lift up the opposite hand. Whoop, whoop. Oh, challenge the balance. 3, 2, 1. Rotate. We're going back to the 10 bridge ups and holding that hip bridge. There you go. For those strong yogis out there, maybe I challenge you to doing 5 wheels and then holding the wheel the entire time. Or 3 wheels, or 2 wheels and then holding the wheel the entire time. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry what I just said. But that's an option in scaling up, right? Otherwise, if this is perfectly at your level, stick with this. Nice work, guys. 20 seconds. Paul, how about we introduce a little bit of a marching motion? So flare one leg out, put it down, switch to the other leg. Put it down, switch to the other leg, right? This is another great challenge. But we want to see control. He's not lazily throwing those legs out, and he's moving deliberately. Rotate. Very nice, Paul. Back to the inchworm. We're on that even minute. Minute 14. Almost there, guys. Oh, yeah, this is your last time doing these inchworms. Keep it up. I want your best plank here if possible. You're going to be like a rock. Buns, tummies and thighs of steel. Not really. Yes, no, really. There you go. Nice work, Anastasia. Making sure that you guys are still inching your way forward and not taking these huge steps. Inch, 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 inch. Hence the name. 3, 2, 1. Rotate. Last time for the bridge ups, guys. This is your last one right here. 10 times. Here we go. Challenge yourself to the hardest iterations right here. Yeah, Anastasia's going for it too. Nice work. Good job, John. 20 seconds in, 40 to go. There you go. Nice, nice. And then hold that position. You have 30 seconds left. Keep it up. Nice. Good work, John. Keep it up, Blair. Awesome shoulder setup over here. Make sure you set your shoulders each and every time. And then consistently check in with yourself. Are your shoulder blades back? Are your ribs in? Are you squeezing the glutes forward? Are your hips open? 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Time! Nice work, guys. And like we did in the first class, your goal is stand up, move around. We don't want you to stay in one spot afterwards. We want to flush out the rest of that lactic acid that might be building up in the body. Plus, it's a great cool down. Just walk. This is your time to take small sips of water. You don't want to take huge gulps because you might not be able to bear it. Sips of water, walk around, cool off. Nice work, guys. Good job, good job, good job. Nice work, nice work. Take a walk.
Coach Andrew.
Yeah! Cool. Guys, we're going to cool down now that you've finished today's workout. We're going to start off with what we call scorpions. This is a dynamic movement. You're going to move around. It's almost like an exercise, but it's a great hip opener, right? These guys are going to lay down on their stomachs, kind of like we did last time when we did the crash test dummy. You're laying down on your stomach, feet together, arms out in a T, if not a slight Y. Check your surroundings before you do this, right? If you're at home in your living room or something, you don't want a couch or a side table with an expensive lamp on it or anything like that. We don't want you to kick this over, and if you do, not my fault. I warned you. From here, you're trying to pick up your left leg and reach over towards your right foot. Yeah. Touch the ground, some part of the ground. If you can touch your hand, that'd be awesome. But if you don't have that range of motion, don't worry about it. As soon as you tap, come back down, reset towards the center, relax, switch sides. Right foot to the left hand. We're not moving our hands here. So if you started like this and you reach up and then you slide your hand down, reset, be okay with wherever you are right now. That's the point of this exercise. We're just going to continue going left and right on your own pace. We can do this for time. We can do this for reps. I'm just going to talk and these guys are going to keep moving the entire time, right? And if you wanted to, you could probably sneak in that crash test dummy stretch that we were doing last time if you want to. But we're actually just trying to focus on firing this area off and the glutes and the hamstrings while opening up that hip and that quad. You might feel it everywhere. But again, not cranking the head up or anything like that. Your chin's probably going to be in contact with the ground the entire time. Very nice. You guys can reach up and over to touch that part of the ground, if not your hand. Otherwise, you can think about sweeping over, keeping your leg very close to the ground the entire time. All right? Very nice, guys. You're breathing, you're breathing, you're breathing. Let's go for about 10 more seconds. Still breathing, opening it up. We're not passive here. We want to continue working a little bit. And take a break. Very nice work. Cool. Get up on your knees. Stay on your knees, shake it out however you need to. A little bit of twisting, a little bit of arm motions. All right. Sweet. Cool. Let's do a couple of neck circles too, just because you guys are in static positions. Maybe you were firing off your neck a little too much. Just some gentle circles. You can do some yes. You can do some no. You can drop your ear to your shoulder, either side. All right, you guys can focus while you're doing that on dropping the ear to the shoulder. You can focus on pulling the shoulders to the ears as you're moving your head. You can focus on lifting your jaw up instead for a slightly different stretch, right? The way you execute a movement will definitely determine how you're firing off your body, what's on, what's off. Cool. And let's get some gentle shoulder rolls going backwards as well. Again, it's like every rep undoes all the time. You're in front of that computer, right? So we open it up, or that phone, either way, right? If you're in this position, check yourself on Instagram, on Cody, all that good stuff. Cool. All right. We're going to hit something we call the super pigeon. Why is this a super pigeon? Well, we're going to try to take that pigeon stretch that we might know from yoga, and we're going to try to play around and do some freestyling movement in it to hit different corners where you might be tight, but also just to vary it up, right? So let's go right leg forward as much as you can. What we'd like to see here is that you're leading with the knee and you're able to get the entire part of the thigh on the ground, right? If you have an issue here, we can grab a mat or a block for you. So for John, we're going to take this little roller here, place that down here so he has something to sit on. Again, this could be a pillow, this could be a yoga block. We want to just hang out there as much as we can. We don't want pressure in the knee though. One of the things that I'd like you to try to do as well, if you can get that heel away from your other leg, the front heel away from your other leg, that's what we want to see, right? And then you're trying to fold down as much as possible. Again, this would be ideal. Both of these guys right here, right? You can see that they're folded over, their spines don't look like Quasimodo, right? But allow yourself to get where you need to go. John's doing a great modification here, keep your arms locked. The next step might be coming down to your forearms or one forearm. There you go. Chest is moving towards the thigh, or I'm sorry, the kneecap. What we want to do here as we freestyle is now that their chest is towards the knee, let's call this 12 o'clock. Their goal, because they're using their right leg right now, is to start scouring towards the right, and if you're at 12 o'clock, let's see if we can go to 1 o'clock. Yeah. Or 2 o'clock. Again, I'm not in your body. I don't know what this feels like. You have to find out what's challenging for you. Where does it get tight? Where does your body give you that feedback and say, hey, this is too much of a stretch, or this is perfect. Oh, I'm getting into some range that I've never hit before, or I'm really tight here, right? So you're just trying to move towards the right as much as you can. Maybe you didn't cover your knee up in the front, but now you're trying to get on the top side of that knee. Maybe you're towards 3 o'clock, 2:30, I don't know. What do you feel? Yeah, is it 2:30? Anastasia's giggling over here, you can't see it. Right, and then maybe we actually start scouring the other way. Maybe instead of 12 o'clock, now we're gonna move towards 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock. What do you need to do? Right, keep moving those hands over. And this is something as well, maybe we fix that hind leg. So as your torso moves towards the left, if the left leg is in the back, maybe that left leg starts moving towards the right, right? It's gonna look like some weird contortionist. That's what we kind of want to do when we work on flexibility anyways. Nice, guys. And then it's kind of like I was saying, freestyle. If you don't like holding this position, don't hold the position, but search for something that works. So on your own, you're gonna move around left, right. Find what you need to find. We're obviously breathing here, right? Every time you exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper into that stretch, right? And modify as needed. Nice work, guys. These guys are well practiced. We have them do these stretches quite often. And that's how you make the progress. You have to continue practicing. You have to get that volume in to become efficient. Nice work. And we're going to back off, nice and easy. Why don't you go ahead and switch sides now. Actually, before we switch sides, let's go ahead and stand up, shake it out. Because we're in these positions for such a long time, we will actually want blood back in those areas before we do the other side, right? So you can boxer shuffle, shake it out, invisible hula hoop, all the things that you know how to do too. Maybe you're just standing. Maybe you feel better that way. What we'd like to do now, though, is test if that made a difference. Go ahead and do 2 or 3 squats on your own. Go ahead. I don't know if you guys see any difference here with Paul. I can see his left leg moving back a little bit more. Nice. Feel a difference?
So it's much more open.
Much more open. I like it. Let's go ahead and switch sides now. So the left knee is going forward, or the left shin is going forward, whatever version you want to do, right? I'm sure you guys can go Google the pigeon stretch if you want to see some of the more advanced versions or some of the basics, right? But that rear leg is locked out in the back. Ideally, you're on the top of your foot. Your toes are pointing back like we were doing before, if possible. And you're breathing, you're breathing, you're breathing. And then it's up to you to start freestyling again. Your head, your spine towards 12 o'clock. What happens when you start going to 11 or 10 o'clock? Moving your torso that way. Not just the hands, but actually moving your full torso that way. Can you get your spine in line with those times on the clock, right? And again, breathing down, trying to relax. If you feel something pinching, if it's nervy, if it's actually accompanied by pain, please stop. Reset, find a position that's doable but challenging. Nice work. Woo-sa! Breathe it out. There you go. Nice, Paul. And then maybe you start going towards the other direction. What happens when you hit noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock? You can hold the position, stay static. You can move a little bit more dynamically. Maybe you're sweeping across. You're probably a lot more flexible if you're sweeping across. But again, we value movement. You can take movement into some static stretching and make it slightly different, a different kind of animal from what you normally know when you just hold the position. We want everything, depending on how you feel for the day. So sometimes we're static, sometimes we're dynamic, but at all times we're moving, all times we're practicing. Getting better at range of motion, getting better at movement, getting better at life. Breathe it out. Last 10 seconds, and then we're going to back out here. You guys be good for the rest of your day. Thank you guys for doing class 2 of HellaFit. We'll be back with class 3. It's going to be a little spicier. We're gonna have more dynamic movement like we did in class 1. But that's what we're going to do today. So, round of applause, guys. Nice work today.